everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another cookbook collab. I have been hosting these throughout the year if you are new here, and we've only missed 1 month, but we have, other than that, we have stayed consistent, and this is our 8th cookbook collaboration. I will have a playlist linked in the description box below so y'all can check out everybody's videos and see what cookbooks they will be cooking out of this month. For me, I am cooking out of this, the absolute best dump dinners cookbook. And y'all, the title is true. The 3 recipes that I cooked from this cookbook were delicious, and as you see, I have a ton more marked and ready to go for future recipes. This cookbook is amazing. This cookbook was gifted to me by Kat over at Southern Farming Kitchen. She sent this to me for my birthday this past July, and y'all, the recipes in this cookbook are super simple, just like really easy. And they are delicious, so I cannot wait to share these recipes with you guys. Don't forget about the playlist link, so when you're done with this one, click the description box and you can find the playlist linked down there. So make sure y'all go check out everybody's videos and give everybody some love. Don't forget that the whole point of this cookbook collab is just to inspire you to cook from cookbooks. If you can afford, then definitely purchase the cookbooks. I will have this cookbook linked in my description box also. But I am aware some people can't afford new cookbooks, and that is fine. Go to your local library. Y'all can find many cookbooks at your local library that y'all can rent for a few days and then return. Or you can, more than likely, go to Google, type in the title. More than likely, some sort of a recipe is going to pop up, so y'all can use those. But the whole point of this is just to inspire you to cook from cookbooks, because we do use the internet a lot, and I'm bad about that. But since hosting these throughout the year, I have really started back collecting cookbooks again and getting in there and using my cookbooks, and I have truly enjoyed it. So I've got 3 recipes to share with you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So for the first recipe in this cookbook, we are going to be making the chicken broccoli shells and cheese. Y'all, this one sounds so good and it's super easy. That's one of the things I love about this cookbook is as I noticed flipping through all of the recipes that they are all like semi-homemade, like using boxes or frozen noodles or like frozen meatballs, cooked chicken. Like, this is the easiest but delicious looking cookbook I've ever seen. So I'm excited to try this first one. This one did call for like the frozen mac and cheese, thawed out, like the frozen like TV dinners. But instead, I'm gonna go ahead and just mix up and use the Velveeta's and cheese. I think it's gonna do just as good. And I got 2 of these because it said 40 ounces of the family style mac and cheese. So technically this is half of that if I do both, even if I do both of these. So I'm going to be adjusting it kind of for just half the recipe. But if you're interested, if you do purchase this cookbook, this one is on page 22. So let's go ahead and get started. Once I got the mac and cheese all mixed together, I went ahead and added in the broccoli. I added in the chicken, and I forgot that I was technically halving this recipe since I didn't have the total, like the full 40 ounces of mac and cheese. So I went ahead and dumped in all 2 cups of the chicken and then added in a whole can of the cream soup. But once I mixed it together, it was totally fine. So I think that it was perfect for like the chicken ratio to the pasta ratio was perfect for us. So you're just going to add in some cheese, mix it together, and I put the lid on for a little bit just to help melt that cheese down. And y'all, that was it. It literally took like 20 minutes to make this, and it was so good. And here is a close-up, y'all. This was so creamy and delicious, and Luke loved this. Okay, y'all, we are going to be making our second recipe from this Dump Dinners cookbook. We're going to be trying the Cheeseburger Paradise Pie. I feel like this is kind of the same concept as one of the Impossible Pies. But like I said before, the other recipe, the one good thing about this is it calls for like already cooked ingredients or frozen, and like they're super easy recipes. So I haven't cooked the meat yet, and I'm not, instead of using frozen peppers and onions, I have just chopped up some fresh peppers and onions with my new little chopper that I got. Y'all will see that on Sunday. Y'all will see my new chopper on Sunday. But I went ahead and chopped those. So I'm going to go ahead and use these, and I'm going to go ahead and cook up my ground beef, and then we will come back and put it all together. If you do purchase this cookbook, this recipe is on page 82. So the recipe calls for just 1 cup of biscuit mix, and I have the cheesy garlic one, and I think it's going to be just as good, if not better, than a regular biscuit mix. So we're going to use that instead. I've got my ground beef is almost ready, and so I'm going to go ahead and mix together the biscuit topping. And of course it says to do this, you know, in a pie dish, but I'm going to keep it a 1 dish, and I'm just going to do it in my skillet, just so there's less dishes. And I think it's going to be just as good. So I'm just going to mix this all together, and then we'll drain our grease, add the other ingredients to that, and then we'll put this on top. I have drained the grease. Now we're going to add in our seasonings. It calls for garlic pepper, salt, pepper, and some Worcestershire. So we're going to add that in there. Now I have turned the heat off, and it says to sprinkle with cheese. I'm probably adding a little more than it calls for, but we like cheese around here. And then it says pour over the biscuit. So we're just going to pour the biscuit over. And then I've got my oven preheated at 400. And we're going to pop this in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And here it is right out of the oven. It was pretty good. Well, there is a couple changes that we would make for next time, but we would definitely try this again. It was more like a ground beef and cheese quiche instead of like, I don't know, adding that egg into the breading mixture, it made it more of like a quiche texture instead of just like a biscuit with ground beef, if that makes sense. So we will definitely be trying this again, but we're going to make a couple changes to it, so we'll share that with you guys in the future. Okie dokie, y'all, here is the last recipe for this cookbook collab. Y'all already know how much I love this cookbook, so I will be making many more recipes from this. But this is going to be the last recipe for this video. We're going to do chicken cordon bleu over toast. This sounds so good to me. We love chicken cordon bleu, so I think this version is going to be really good, and it's something different. So this recipe is on page 23, the same cookbook, Dump Dinners. So I have got my chicken here. I have just cut it up into decent, like small little pieces, and I have seasoned it with the Kinder's red garlic and the garlic pepper seasoning. So that's just been chilling for about 30 minutes in the fridge. So I will cook this up, and then you'll also need some ham, some milk, cream of chicken soup. You'll need some Swiss cheese, Monterey Jack cheese, and then it says you can either do this on regular toast, Texas toast, or English muffins. So I'm going to do Texas toast. I think the thicker bread with that crunch is going to be way better. So we're going to cook up our chicken, and then we'll come back and put the rest of the ingredients together. The chicken's all cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my cream of chicken soup. Add in my milk. So it's a cup of ham, so that's 8 ounces, so it's that whole thing. This kind of reminds me of, like, well, crap on a shingle, but y'all know what, you know, what we normally call it. The S word I can't say on here, but, you know, minus the chicken. But like ham and ham gravy, that just reminds me of crap on a shingle. Okay, so got that in. Now we're gonna add in our cheese. Calls for a little bit of Monterey Jack. And a lot of Swiss. Just mix these two together. You're just gonna melt the cheese down and make a cheese sauce. I feel like I might have to add a little bit more milk to this, just because of all the cheese. But it smells good, y'all. So I ended up adding another half a cup of milk, and I added some salt and pepper. I've tasted it, and y'all, it is so good. I was so excited. Or I'm so excited that I tried this recipe. I was really curious on how this would come together. Like I said, we love cordon bleu. So this was a different spin on chicken cordon bleu, and y'all, it is really good. So I think I'm gonna get some frozen broccoli out of the freezer and have it as a side dish, but we will have that over some Texas toast. And here it is all plated up. Y'all, this was my favorite out of the 3 recipes I shared with you guys today. This was my favorite recipe. And that is it, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this What's for Dinner video. I hope it inspired you to get your cookbooks out and get to cooking. Don't forget to check the playlist link in the description box below. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.